Imagine not being able to read the paper because your hands were shaking. Imagine not being able to read newsprint as your world faded to black. The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. Monthly Report. With your host, Lee Martin, and co-host, Florence Myers-McSwine.
Well, hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline, Indiana Monthly Report. We have a very exciting show for you today. The Indiana Civil Rights Commission is here, and they're here to share a lot of information regarding your civil rights. So we want to start out the top of the show, as many of our viewers and listeners know. We have a service that's called the National Federation of the Blind Newsline. It's for the blind and visually impaired and print-challenged citizens, those citizens that may be dealing with shaky hand syndrome or those with some forms of dyslexia can now have access to the printed press. We have a service with the National Federation of the Blind that has the answer for those that can no longer read print. We can read print now by accessing newspapers and magazines through a plethora of methods that we have. We have devices such as your telephone, your landline telephone. Many of the seniors love using the landline telephone still. And that might not be a bad idea. What you say about that, Florence?
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
And we also have the iPhone, the iPad, and the iPod that individuals can now use to access the service, as well as computers and devices that I like to use. One is the human wear device, a Victor Reader Stream. And as the National Federation of the Blind Newsline, our state sponsor is the Indiana's Talking Book and Braille Library Services. And they have a device that's called the Digital Player that individuals can access this free service. Once again, it's F-R-E-E, free service. And as you listen and view the screen on the television, there'll be numbers announced directing you to the services or where you can call or where you can go on our website and find out information about this great service and find out information about our affiliate with the National Federation of the Blind, where our state president is Mr. Ronald Brown. So we want to talk a little bit more about this free service, and we'll be bringing more information about it. Florence, you want to talk a little bit about some of the magazines that we have?
I certainly will. I'll talk about this audio service. This free audio service gives you access to over 60 magazines. So there is a magazine for every lifestyle. If you are into health, there's magazines on health, such as Preventive Magazine and WebMD. If you're into, let's AARP. I like AARP. That's one of my favorites. Sky Post magazines, Reader's Digest. There's this monthly magazine, Jet magazine. There is a magazine for everyone. A Wired magazine is another one. So I can go on, but it just depends on where your fancy is. And we, in addition to the magazines, we also have sales circulars, Walmart, Target circulars, weather service. So we've got some good magazines there.
Yeah, and with those circulars and Christmas season coming about, there'll be additional circulars on there. I love going up there this time of year and utilizing the service just to bargain shop at the different retailers so that I can spend the money that I don't have just like most other consumers. So this service allows people that are print challenged those type of opportunities. Also with the newspapers, I really enjoy reading the Indianapolis Star. I also like reading our Wall Street Journal or Associated Presses across the country. We have all but 2 states throughout the United States that are using the service with the National Federation of the Blind Newsline. So it's a well-rounded service with over 400 newspaper publications and 15 international news publications. I mean, you can read, if I want to go up there and read about what's going on in China or Russia or Germany or Israel or Jerusalem, anywhere that I basically want to read, I can go there and read. And I can also educate my grandchildren as well because they like watching me read sometime. And I've had one of them ask me, well, you mean they arrest people for drunken driving in China? Yes, they do. You know, they live lives just like we live lives. So we're connecting the world and we're able to educate in our own families as blind citizens through services and programs like the National Federation of the Blind Newsline. So, you know, please check that out. There's another area that I really like as well. It's called Breaking News. And that covers such publications like the BBC, CNN, Fox News, the Huffington Post, and on and on and on, where you can just pick up a plethora of information to keep you informed so that you can talk with your family. You can create a new conversation with your colleagues and, you know, just be just as informed as the next person, and you're totally blind. So this is a great service. So we want everyone to know. Once again, it's a free service. Get the information as it scrolls across the screen, and as our producer Jeff narrates it, get that information and get in contact with us, or so that we can help you live the life you want through information. So we'll be right back with our guests from the Indiana Civil Rights Commission, and I'm here to tell you they are 2 nice-looking women that have a lot of information to share, and we also have a service animal for Diane. Izzo is the service animal's name. So we'll be right back with Izzo and the rest of the gang. So we'll see you shortly.
As I travel the nation, I read NFB Newsline.
I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, and I listen to my local news on NFB Newsline.
As a student, I enjoy reading current events on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today.
I am a blind vendor, and one of the things that I truly miss is reading Vending Times magazine.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
It is a fantastic service.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today. Welcome back to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana Monthly Report. As we stated earlier, we have some special guests, and I like to call her Princess Di, although she is Diane Graves, but she's our Princess Di with the National Federation of the Blind of Indiana. And we also have Ms. Lesley Gordon from the Civil Rights. I want to welcome you both to the show.
Thank you.
And
Excited to be here.
well, I'm glad that you're here. And Diane, You are a member of the National Federation of the Blind as well?
Yes, I am.
And you use a service called the NFB Newsline. You want to share a little bit about the service and how it's impacted your life and how it may impact the lives of others?
Well, I think the NFB Newsline is a tremendous, tremendous service. My favorite publication that I access on Newsline is the Guidepost magazine. I'm just so excited when the new edition comes out each month, and I tell myself I'm going to ration it throughout the month, but I'm usually through it in a couple of days. I just love it. I use it for my daily devotions, and they used to offer a Braille version of that, but they're not doing that anymore. So it's wonderful to have access to that. I used to access Newsline on my landline phone, but I'm currently, for the past several years, I've been using the Victor Reader Stream, which is a wonderful device for accessing Newsline and books from the State Library, as Lee said. Just all kinds of things you can do with that. But Newsline is just really, really great in that it provides access not previously available to people who are blind or otherwise print disabled. And there are many, many widespread newspapers that you can access, the New York Times magazine, Family Circle, Time. I love all of those. And, you know, there was a time when someone would talk about an article they'd read in Family Circle or Time or whatever the case may be, the New York Times. And the only way that you would have access to that article is if they would share it with you and read it to you. But now, if you hear about something that someone else enjoyed, you can actually go on to Newsline via computer or phone or whatever device you're using, and you can read it yourself. So it's just been a tremendous source of independence for myself and thousands of others. And I just can't say enough about it. It's just a wonderful service.
It is, and Diane, Guidepost magazine is also one of my favorites.
Oh,
and
yes,
what I like about that magazine too is that we actually get the subscription before everybody else. You know?
Right.
And also now with the news, it populates during the day. So we get news. We don't have to wait until 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. We can get it as the news changes throughout the day. We have access to that as well.
Exactly.
That's a great part of it all, too. I enjoy that. And another feature I really like about it is you can record the text with the verbal into text. You can have it, if you're using a landline phone, you press #9, and that'll take that information and put it into your computer. So that's great. If there's an article about Lesley dealing with a major civil rights issue, if there's a message in there about ISO having to protect Princess Di, there's those articles, and you say, "Dag, I want to save that article to my inbox." You can do that through the services, and that's one of the great features that we have. And there's several other features, categories that you can create, your favorites that are on there. I know I like, my favorites are like sports. And I'm definitely a fair weather fan, so if your team is not winning, I'm not going to that city to listen to the team, okay?
So you're on your way out of Indy is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So...
I'm right behind you. We need some help.
So, that's a disclaimer now. I'm not involved in that now. But anyhow, those are a lot of things that we can actively participate in as being blind and print challenged citizens nowadays, where you don't have to sit and wait for someone to read to you. You have free access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And all I can say about it is my. You know, a lot of people transplant to Indianapolis or to Indiana, and they want to read about what's going on in their hometowns. One of the number one sections of the newspapers is the obituaries. And a lot of people like to keep up with obituaries, you know, and it has helped me out because I had a Sunday school teacher that, I'm from the city of Muncie, and one night about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I got up and I said, well, let me read the obituaries in Muncie, and I found out that she had passed away. And so that gave me enough time to get myself together to go to her homegoing. And without that service, I would not have known. So, you know, it has its value. And Florence, what other values you think it would have for that you like other than guideposts and AARP? You don't look like an AARP person.
Well, I am.
Even though I can't see you.
I am a AARP person. I am a senior citizen, and I'm health conscious, so I look up a lot of things about health and fitness. I'm not diabetic, but I know people who are, so I'm always reading diabetic forum. I'm trying to educate myself on things that might be helpful to someone else, because it's always good to be educated and to be able to educate other people, as we do concerning blindness and services for the blind and visually impaired.
That's a great comment. And we'll be taking a short break, and we're going to come back with some very valuable information regarding your civil rights. And like I say, we have two dynamic people here from the Indiana Civil Rights Commission, and they have some great things to share with each of us. So we'll be right back. We'll see you shortly. No pun intended.
If you or someone you know is visually impaired or print challenged, the National Federation of the Blind has a resource you need.
I am a CFP practitioner, and I happen to be blind. I rely on NFB Newsline to keep me current with Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
I am a blind vendor, and one of the things that I truly miss is reading Vending Times magazine.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
It is a fantastic service.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today. We want to welcome you back to the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana Monthly Report. And Florence, carry it away.
Yes, sir. And we are delighted to have with us this afternoon a couple of ladies, and we have here Miss Diane Graves and
Lesley Gordon.
Yes, Miss Gordon. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Now, Miss Gordon, can you tell me a little bit about you and what you do at Civil Rights Commission?
Yeah, so I am the Deputy Director of External Affairs for the Indiana Civil Rights Commission. So I'm over all of our outreach, education, and communication efforts. I'm fairly new with the agency, so been a great learning experience these past few months. We have some new leadership, and we're really excited to start 2018 with a bang.
Awesome. And Diane?
I am a mediator for the Civil Rights Commission. I've been with the Civil Rights Commission for 27 years, and I have served in various roles, but I think the mediation position is the most gratifying. What I do once a case has been filed is I reach out to the parties and find out generally I reach out to the respondents first and find out whether they're willing to try to resolve the case through mediation. And if we get a willingness on the part of both parties, then I'll bring them together for discussion and see if we can find a resolution that would settle the matter or resolve the matter without the necessity of a lengthy investigation and or legal process, because that can take quite a bit of time, be very frustrating for both parties, require a lot more work. With if we can just get together and discuss, then maybe we can find a happy medium for both parties and everybody can move on.
Okay, now for those who don't know, what exactly is the Civil Rights Commission, and when was it established, and for what purpose?
Yeah, so the Indiana Civil Rights Commission is a state's enforcement agency for civil rights law. So if you feel you've been wronged in a public place like a restaurant or a housing place or your place of employment, in the education system, or potentially in the credit or banking world, we are able to help you figure out if there is something wrong, talk you through that claim, and as Diane said, maybe help you through a mediation to get a resolution.
Okay, well, thank you.
And we're actually celebrating our 55th anniversary in 2018. So
awesome.
We've been around for quite some time and looking forward to celebrating that milestone year.
Now, when a person has a dispute, they come to, and they're trying to determine, should I go to EOC or should I go to you guys, the Indiana Civil Rights Commission? What is the difference between the two?
Well, the first thing would be, EEOC only takes complaints of employment, whereas the Civil Rights Commission covers public accommodation, credit, education, and housing. We don't have any jurisdiction over federal, governmental agencies. So if they have an employment dispute against the federal agencies, then they'd want to go to EEOC. There was a time when our time frame for filing a complaint was 90 days, whereas the EEOC had 180 days in which you could file. That changed a number of years ago, and we now have that 180-day criterion as well. So that's pretty much equal. Did you want to?
I would just say, and if you have a question, the good thing about our agency is we receive calls on the phone. You can walk in or reach us on the internet, and we'll help you figure out if you're at the right place. So we're a resource to help direct you to the right agency if we aren't exactly what you need.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what would I need if I were to, or if someone were to file a complaint, or is there a cost?
So as you said, that FREE service, Indiana Civil Rights, is free of charge, especially just to inquire about your complaint and then to start the process and go through it. And Diane's Department of Mediation is a great alternative and doesn't require any legal or representation. So we have a lot of different options for you. But no, it is something that we offer free of charge.
Now, does the Indiana Civil Rights Commission assist individuals in getting a criminal record expunged?
No, that's not one of the areas that we would cover, unfortunately. We don't have any jurisdiction over the actual court system at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what counties do you serve?
We serve all 92 counties in Indiana. So part of my job in outreach and communication and training is to make sure that we reach everyone in the state. And we're a unique agency because anyone can come to the Civil Rights Agency, whether you're filing a complaint or you're an employer or really anyone that feels that they have responsibilities under civil rights law to learn about what those responsibilities are. So we do education kind of ahead of time to maybe help prevent some of those complaints even coming to our office. So we try to touch as many people as we can.
Now, also, Now, is there a uptake in the amount of people that are disabled filing complaints?
I wouldn't say uptake per se, but we definitely are seeing that is the majority or a leader in protected class areas for complaints filed. So disability has been first, and then race as a close second currently. So.
Wow. So there you have it, folks, in a nutshell, in 7 minutes, what the Indiana Civil Rights Commission and some of the great things that they're doing, and some of the rights that you may have.
I'm Danny Wayne Beamer, Program Manager of the Elder Blind Program at the Will Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. I introduce the NFB Newsline to seniors in 13 southwestern counties in Indiana. I also utilize the NFB Newsline for my radio station public affairs shows. The NFB Newsline. Experience it today.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
The National Federation of the Blind knows that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. You can live the life you want. Blindness is not what holds you back.
Leslie and Diane, we want to thank you very much for the show. And you want to leave us with some information, or the listening audience or the viewing audience with some information?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Diane. Yeah.
Anyone that feels that they've been discriminated against, even if they're not sure that it's something that we would cover, go ahead and give us a call so we can help you out. Our number is 317-232-2600. And you'll want to speak with someone in our intake department. We also have an 800 number, and
I'm not sure of that, but it's all on our website, which is in.gov/ICRC.
Okay, you want to repeat that website again, please?
Yeah, that's www.in.gov/ICRC.
Okay, so please get in touch if you feel like your rights have been violated. And so, Florence, been a great show.
It has.
So what are your parting remarks?
Well, my parting remarks is just our NFB tagline. You can live the life you want. Blindness is not what holds you back.
So we're going to leave this show for today in a great spirit and mind, and wanting everybody to know you do have rights. And the Civil Rights Commission is here for you. So utilize the rights that you do have. And we'll see you guys next week on a brand new show. So take good care and be blessed.
The National Federation of the Blind Indiana Monthly Report. For more information, go to nfb-in.org or call 317-205-9226. That's 317-205-9226. The National Federation of the Blind encourages you to live the life you want.